Good evening. I'm Dr. D. You might remember me from my last educational film, No, Johnny, Radioactivity is Not a Toy, and my most recent book about the ecology of the African savanna, How Disney Lied to Us. Tonight, on Great Moments in Remote Learning History, we're going to talk about the discovery of the origins of one of the greatest tools used for remote learning. From back in the 1930s and 40s, researchers had worked on this, and the work had been lost. Recently, a film had been found that uncovered one of the creators and discoverers of one of these great tools used in remote learning. Pieced together with a damaged notebook from this scientist, we've managed to put together the story of one of the greatest tools in remote learning.
Our story begins with Dr. Hafarahar. Dr. Faharahar had found a way of taking people's brainwaves and sending them through wires and computers and putting them into the televisions in other people's houses. He'd come up with the idea that maybe students could be taught from far away if they could use computers to connect teachers and students. He called his concept the classroom. Dr. Hafarahar finally got to test it on students, but there were problems associated with it, such as lowered attention span, excessive pajama wearing, and thumbs suddenly shooting up. Then tragedy struck. Dr. Hafarahar's laboratory burnt down to the ground, and all evidence of his work was destroyed, or so it was thought. Until these films were rediscovered, the only evidence we had of his work were the remains of one laboratory notebook that were found in the fire. Following the disastrous fire, this page is one of the only ones recovered from laboratory notebooks in the building. It is about all we know of the actual work that Dr. Hafarahar did. The title was completely destroyed, except for these words, Z and and to this day the project's known as Zoom.
Now, I know some would argue that it's not that great of a tool. Most would say the greatest tool is the human mind, second being a really good internet connection. But regardless, for whatever negatives there are, this tool is bound to the very nature of teaching by remote nowadays. And so forever will it be bound into great moments of remote learning history. This is Dr. D. Good night, stay safe, stay healthy.